Over to you, Toastmaster Sean.
Very good morning and welcome to the 302 meeting of Bright Beginnings Toastmasters Club. How are you all, Toastmasters?
Woohoo!
As everybody in their life has a mission to achieve their goal, likewise, we Toastmasters have a mission. The mission of our Toastmaster Club is to provide a supportive and collaborative learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self confidence and personal growth. But before we start any meeting, I would like to mention three ground rules that we follow for every meeting. First, please turn off your mobiles or put them on silent mode to avoid any disturbance during the meeting. For that, I'll give you 10 seconds. I hope all the mobiles are turned off or on mute. Please keep yourself on mute unless you speak. And third, please refrain yourself from talking about sex, religion, and politics in derogatory manner. We all are here for the healthy discussions. To proceed further, let me invite our presiding officer, Toastmaster Sanskar. Over to you, Toastmaster Sanskar.
Thank you so much, Shaunak. As your temporary presiding officer, and this is the first time for me, thank you for Anshuman to hand me over at this very impromptu thing. So, so before we start with the meeting, I'd like to get to know you all with well, we don't have any guests today, but to start with, we have for the past 3 years, our club has created a warm, friendly, and supportive environment for all. So, as we gather each week to fulfill our mission to provide a supportive and a positive learning experience for all, in which all members are uh, appreciated to empower to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater confidence and personal growth. So, our mission for the Bright Beginners Toastmaster Club is to have a place of community where aspiring speakers and leaders come to learn and prove orators and heroic pioneers continue to grow and share their wisdom. So at each meeting, we have a theme, and today's theme is value. We'll be hearing more about this from our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Shaunak. Toastmaster
Toastmaster
Ashutosh.
Ashutosh.
Sorry. Toastmaster Ashutosh. So with that, I see that we have guests with us today. Would you please come to the front of the room, Toastmaster Abhijit?
Yeah, give me just couple of minutes.
Sure.
Toastmaster Sanskar,
So,
we can proceed with the Toastmaster today. Toastmaster Vijit can later introduce himself. Oh, he's here. Okay, amazing.
okay. So with that,
I could not stop myself seeing Anshuman on the screen well decked up.
right.
Yes, Toastmaster Vijit, will you like to introduce yourself to the club?
Yes, I am Toastmaster Abhijit from Noida Plus Toastmasters Club, and been in Toastmaster for over 9 years now. Very actively participated in various leadership as well as communication track, and I'm here to take up a role today in today's meeting.
We will shortly hand you over a role. Thank you, Toastmaster Abhijit.
Yes, Toastmaster Vijit, you are the evaluator for the first speech.
Shaunak,
Toastmaster Shaunak speech. Yes.
right.
With that,
Hello.
I'd like to hand it over to our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Ashutosh. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shonak. It's my pleasure to serve as a Toastmaster of the day in today's meeting. So I see that most of the meeting our team members are Toastmasters from the Toastmasters Club, but for the purpose of introduction, I would like to introduce the role of Toastmasters of the day. The Toastmaster of the day is a program host who creates a suitable platform for the smooth conduction of meeting. And also, I also want to introduce the meeting flow of the meetings flow of Toastmasters meeting. The Toastmasters meetings are generally divided in three parts. The first part is prepared speeches. The prepared speeches wherein some of our members, club members, or the Toastmasters give a speech for 5 to 7 minutes on a particular topic, which are part of their pathway projects from their pathways. And these speeches also are being evaluated. So we'll talk about that later. The second part of the Toastmasters meeting is the table topic. The table topic are section is a section wherein all the participants are encouraged to speak for about 2 to 3 minutes on a topic which is given to them impromptu or randomly. This is very interesting session wherein the opportunities are given to the participant to practice the impromptu speaking and increase their ability to be spontaneous on things which is needed in the context of our other lives. Otherwise we are put into the spotlight situations generally on a situation which we are not prepared for, whether it's the situation at in our personal relationships or professional relationships. There are situations every day, and then this is very useful for practicing this. And the third section is the most important section, which I like it personally, is the evaluation section. Evaluation section gives us a reflection on how the meeting was conducted, how are the good things, what are the not so good things, and it is gives us the opportunity for the changes or improvements which are needed, in a personal or in a group capacity for. So I look forward for a very successful, encouraging, and engaging meeting today. All the best for all of us. And before moving ahead, I want to show a picture today. Let me see if I will be able to share it from my screen. Oh yeah, it's coming. So I want to ask the question. There are three pictures in this screen. I want to ask which one is the most higher in price and which one is most, again, valuable. So I know Toastmaster Anshuman might like, the
Depends on the quantity also, right? Liter,
Right.
ml.
Yeah. No, so you consider the same quantity. So which one is the most, higher in price, and which was most important in terms of value?
So we have multiple hands raised. I think quite enthusiastic hands raised.
Yeah. So Toastmaster Abhijit, yes, please.
Uh, okay, so I think Anshuman was trying to indicate something, but then eventually what I feel is the most valuable is the one at the bottom, water, of course. Uh, Without petrol, without alcohol, people can still survive, but without water, eventually it's not. But the second most the part is petrol is now also equally, because the mode of transportation, fuel prices are rising. So I think petrol is the one. But again, keeping these two things, third one is what we cannot really skip. This
Of
that is
course.
also what's equal importance.
True. And he very rightly pointed out Toastmaster Abhijit. Yeah. So anybody else have the opinion, Toastmaster Shaunak or
Shaunak also raised his
Nancy?
hand.
Yes.
So, if I talk about from the life perspective, yes,
Hmm.
water is the basic
Right.
necessity. You
Yes.
cannot live without water, a clean water, a drinkable water. That's what the majority of the world is surviving for, because the drinkable water, in spite of having 75% of the water covering the earth, there is only 2% of the fresh water which is only available or drinkable for the human race. For the growth, yes, the petroleum is the key. Without this, industries cannot sustain. And the
Yes.
third part is beer, which is the need of an hour, because by God grace, we have point number 1 and 2 available. So considering weekend, you can think about the third one.
Yes, Toastmaster Shaunak very rightly pointed out. So again, I think the point's very clear, and I'm sure we all be on the same page that considering the interesting inclinations towards the petroleum or beer or alcohol, water still remains the most essential and most valuable. Though the price wise, it is maybe the most cheaper. At least in India, in our country, the water is more cheaper than the other two. Its proposition and value changes in different geographies. But India, water is still the most cheapest option. And then there may be a situation in future. I just also want to highlight, of course, it is today the other two petrol or petroleum products and even the alcohol or alcoholic products are important and essential. But there may be a context in future considering the geopolitical events or situation that the first two petrol or even the alcohol may not be available, or might there may be changes in this scenario. But water is the most important part for not only human species, but all the species on the planet and will remain so. And moreover, moving ahead, the way fresh water is getting, lesser and lesser, the importance of water and value of water will increase. So small things have a higher value, but generally we tend to miss the value of the small but essential things. This is what the theme of our today's meeting, and we'll discuss more about this theme, about the value of things during the course of meeting. Of course, moving ahead with the flow of the meeting. Just want to ensure one thing: this will not be a lecture on economics for value. This will be some kind of a topics introduction. So value is not something which we define absolutely. It depends on different, it changes from perspective, from people to people, situations to situation. For somebody, value is just sitting idle at his home on a weekend and having a nice sip of coffee or tea. For others, it's trying to figure out the best way to paint the town red or do the maximum possible fun or spend money. But there are different ways of driving value. For some, value is money. For some, time is money. So we'll talk about this one more. Before that, I want to reflect the value of the participants in today's meeting, and the most valuable one is the general evaluator. So general evaluator is the one who is responsible for submitting the report on the evaluate on the for the flow of meeting towards on the third part, which I initially said. And for reflecting more on this part, I invite Toastmaster Anshuman to mention his role of himself and his team. So Toastmaster Anshuman.
Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Ashutosh, and good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining. We have, by relative standards, a healthy attendance today. So good to see Toastmaster Shaunak, Toastmaster Ashutosh, Toastmaster Kancha, Toastmaster Nancy, Toastmaster Abhijit, and Toastmaster Sanskar joining this wonderful Saturday morning to learn. And how do we learn? One is through practice, one is through evaluation. By just practicing our roles sincerely, then gaining feedback on how we can purposefully learn from today's meeting. And there are multiple aspects to it. One is the speech feedback. So we'll get from our two evaluators, which is Toastmaster Abhijit, and in high probability, we have to still decide the second evaluator. The second evaluator and the first evaluator, which is Toastmaster Abhijit, both the speakers, which is Toastmaster Shaunak and Toastmaster Minakshi, they'll get tremendous feedback on how they performed today. We look forward to the speeches. Second is the feedback on how we performed on the roles, where I'm not alone. I have the tag team with me, starting with the timer. Tosma Minakshi will just be joining. In between, I'm substituting for her, where I did some experiment. I built a Toastmaster web app in just 30 seconds. Are you curious to see a Toastmaster web app in 30 seconds? So this is something I built in 30 seconds, a Toastmaster timer. In today's AI age, you can build your own web app in a minute. So I can choose. Okay, it's in the. I can choose. It's a standard speech, icebreaker speech, something. Then it will show the green card at 5 minutes, the yellow card at 6 minutes, and the red card at 7 minutes for a standard speech. Then we'll have the red card at 1 minute for a table topic, with followed up by 1.5 minutes for yellow card and 2 minutes for a red card. And for evaluations, we'll have it at 2.5, and 3 respectively for the evaluation sections. I look forward to a tremendous timed meeting. And for the next section, which is the language evaluation section, I'd like to invite Toastmaster Sanskar to introduce his role.
I thank you, Shaunak. Thank you, Anshuman. So, hi, my name is Sanskar, and I have the privilege to serve you as the language evaluator for the meeting today. So, as a language evaluator, I have only one role, which is to watch over your words and what adds value and what does not add value to your meeting. So, as with the today's meetings, so I will be listening carefully, not to just what speakers say, but all of the remainder of the total meeting today. Strong vocabulary, the use of word of the day, and my filler words that may slip in. Speaking well, every words which we either build a bridge to our audience. So with that, I'll hand it over to General Editor Toastmaster Anshuman. Uh, yeah,
Toastmaster Sanskar, do you want to share the word of the day?
I think I have in the
Do you
chat.
want
It
to
is
narrate?
candid.
Do you
It
want
is
to
candid.
narrate the meaning and share example of?
Right. So, word of the day today is candid. So, what it truly means is that you have to be truthful and straightforward, not hiding what you think or feel, even when it is a little uncomfortable. That is it. Thank you, Toastmaster Anshul.
Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Sanskar. I look forward to a productive meeting where we are practicing our respective roles to the best. I'll be back at the end of the meeting sharing my report on the overall health of the meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster Ashutosh, to take it away.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anshuman, for very clearly explaining the role of yourself and your team. So I look forward for insightful evaluation on the third in the later part of the meeting. Okay, so we have some speeches, but before that, I just want to give a trailer to a short story which is coming along the way. There was a village, small village, somewhere in the India, up in the hills of hilly town of India. One of the day, a young boy was very sad. For few things happened in his life, and then he went to his father with a heavy heart. He asked his father, "Father, what is the value of my life?" The father was looking calm, just just saw his son and mentioned him, "Son, I will tell you the value of your life, but before that, I want you to do a task, small task for me." The father gave him two small stones and told him and said to him that you went to some place, I will tell you, and try to sell these two stones. And when somebody asks you what is the price of these stones, don't say anything. Just show your two fingers. So something is happening with this boy. Meanwhile, we'll go back to the meeting, format. And then I would like to invite the evaluator for speaker one. Speaker one is Toastmaster Shaunak. I'm sure he has an interesting and uh, appealing speech. I would like to invite Toastmaster Abhijit Roy to introduce speech of Toastmaster Shaunak. Toastmaster Abhijit.
Thank you, Ashutosh. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters, and especially the one who is all set to entertain us. Because when I was trying to reach out to him to get the objective. He's just said my objective is entertainment. Well, coming back to the main crux of the speech objectives, Toastmaster Shaunak is giving a very generic speech, which probably can be curtailed into a contest speech or a standard speech, which we will like to hear from him. The speech timing is 5 to 7 minutes, but if I will have to tag to a speech with an objective, it could be either writing a speech with purpose, which ideally means that Toastmaster Shaunak will be delivering a speech which will have a definite purpose to meet, which is to inspire the audience, connect with the audience, and motivate them. It will have a call of action or a message, which will be witnessing very soon. But eventually, it will be all the objectives of the speech will be monitored on the basis of his body language, gestures, storytelling, and anything and everything that I'll come up with when I give my overall feedback. But just the timing part of it, timing is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best, Toastmaster Shaunak, and over to you, Toastmaster Astosh.
Okay, so I would like to invite Toastmaster Shaunak. I think I missed the title of speech if it was given, but Toastmaster Shaunak, what do you?
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ashutosh and Toastmaster Abhijit. The title of the speech is Tell Tales. How many of you like to travel? It's an extended weekend. I believe some of you will be traveling anyways. How many of you have made impromptu travel plans without any bookings on the fly? You just decided, and the next moment you were on the road. Let me tell you a story. Back in 2019, I was just talking to one of my friend. It was an extended weekend, and we were just talking candidly. I asked, what are the plans for the weekend? Let's go out somewhere. It was just a casual discussion, which eventually converted into a plan. So we decided to hit the road at night to avoid the weekend traffic. We were two families with 9 people and the luggage. Now, the problem was that with 9 people and the luggage, you had to take 2 cars. But since we were planning to travel at the night, I was a little bit apprehensive because I have never drove at night and I feel a bit of a dizzy, so I don't want to take any chances. So we took a very bold call. We decided to travel in 1 car. 9 people with luggage and 1 car. Nothing is decided where we are going to travel. The bare minimum distance that you can think of is still 5 to 6 hours. Well, we packed our baggage, luggage, whatever we could think of in just few hours. And at midnight, we were on the road. Guess what? There were a lot of other people who were thinking on the same lines. So when we hit the road, after traveling for a few kilometers, we found it's a totally jam-packed. Everyone is on the road, traveling to different destinations. And we have not figured it out yet. Where are we heading it to? Okay. We made few phone calls to some of the hotels. A lot of them were unreachable, and majority of them were totally packed. Thankfully, the friends who were traveling with us, their friends were at some destination. They called them and checked, is there any availability where you're staying? They checked and confirmed that, yes, you can come here. We are also here. You'll get the accommodation. And that place was Binsar, which was roughly 8 to 10 hours from Delhi. So I took a pause, I took a deep breath, and then I looked at my wife, who was staring at me with killer looks. Imagine me and my friend who were at the driver's side and the co-driver side were still comfortable, but people who were sitting on the middle and the back seats with luggage, and 9 people, including kids, they were in a miserable condition. I thought, Shaunak, you were dead today. Anyways, we started the journey. Early morning, we were about to hit Pinsir. When I checked the property, I found that it's hardly 35-40 minutes distance from here. So I took a bit of a breath. I was a bit relieved because we had not slept for the entire night. And people who were at the back, they had no place even to take a nap. They were busy handling kids and managing themselves in this available space. After 35-40 minutes of drive, I saw the destination. I felt a bit relieved. The property was on the hills, and you know how the hilly roads are. So it was almost a 45 degree of elevation to go downhill to reach the spot at the hotel. I reached the hotel gate. I got out from the car, just stretched my legs and the hands, felt the freshness of the air, walked inside the hotel and asked the receptionist, "Ma'am, we have a booking here." The receptionist asked my name, and I told her my name. She checked and asked, "Sir, are you sure? Is this the hotel that you have booked? Because I can't see any of the bookings on this name." I said, "Yes, ma'am, I'm pretty much sure. You can see the message." Then she said, "Sir, you are at the wrong property. There are 2 properties with this name. The another one is another 1 hour from here." I was like, oh my God. That moment of joy suddenly turned into another stressful event. So moving down the hill was relatively easy rather than climbing up the hill at 45 degree with no space left. So, and not having habitual of driving on hill areas. Anyways, we somehow managed to reach up the hill again, and everyone was staring at me that they are going to kill me because everyone was exhausted. So after 1 hour, we were almost there at the property. I checked, I couldn't see any property there. It was like if we are in the middle of the city. So I asked the locals there, "Have you seen this property?" So they told, "Yes, yes, yes. You just go straight, and on the left there will be a short lane. You take that and it will take you to the property." When I reached there, I found it was too narrow a lane to take the car there. So I again hold my breath, took a pause, and somehow managed to reach the spot. When we reached the property, finally, the receptionist confirmed, "Yes, sir, your booking is confirmed." But when we reached the room, it was a very basic room with no TV, nothing else, just a bed and the table. And someone who was not supposed to be there was also there. Guess who? The spiders. My wife was cursing me without even saying a word, and I was like, "Shaunak Mathur, you should have better planned things in advance." Because she was already so exhausted carrying a child for almost like 10 hours. And after seeing that property, she was totally pissed off. But yeah, we stayed there for 2-3 days. Somehow it took us some time to settle because there was nothing else available. We had already invested a lot of time in traveling and reaching up there, and we were in no mood to look for any other property. Thankfully, with family and friends, we had a great time there. And again, the same story repeated when we came back. Again, it took us 10, 11 hours, and it was a very stressful journey. Now, the lesson, what I have learned from this journey, if you are planning something, life cannot be planned all the time. There are 2 choices for you. Either you crave about it or you enjoy that journey. Though it was a painful journey, but we had a great time there as well. If I would have planned things, things could have been much better. But it's up to us how we want to feel about it. Life will never be planned. It will never be an easy cakewalk for you. But it's up to us how we take that experience or that journey. Considering from the positive thought, that adventure I experienced that day, and so did my family and my friends, I would have never thought of if I would have planned things. But I enjoyed that somehow. That feeling that had given me an adrenaline rush to try and take more risk next time. And maybe I'm better prepared for such things now. So thank you. I'm sure maybe you all have such experiences in your life. You all have seen such things. Or you might be going through such situations. But rather than feeling sad about it, crib about it, enjoy this journey. Because that will prepare you better for your future. Thank you.
What an interesting, story, Toastmaster Shaunok. I was imagining myself being with you in that car and then struggling as much as you, or maybe as much as your family members. I can imagine these kind of things, gets very tricky. Things are planned for some doing something good, but eventually land into something else. So I had been also in similar situations, so I can relate very well with you that these are the very tricky ones. But yes, the more you do it, you get more fun, and then you have reflections. These are the ones which you remember over the years. If you go on a planned trip, which everything is nice. You have some good memories, but these are not in recall for over the years. So these are when you achieve something out of your
So, so
experiences. Yeah,
it's more about the journey you are into. So
yeah,
Toastmaster
yeah.
Ashutosh, if
Yes,
that would have been the case during the college time or the school time, that would have been a luxury for us. Even stepping out of home with friends was a luxury.
right.
I mean, leave aside a five-star property, we would be traveling in the buses, local buses, reaching to those spots with carrying our luggage by them ourselves. So look at the time whenever you feel that you're hung up somewhere, the things are not in favor. Look at the time back when you actually gone through that journey with a sheer smile on your face as an achievement. It's just that we have accustomed ourselves to the leisures and the pleasures of life that we are not ready to settle for less.
Truly said, definitely. So it's a gratitude, definitely that is to be taken, and reflection. So with that, note and learnings, we move on to the next speech. So I see Toastmaster Minakshi still not there. So shall we wait, or uh,
Toastmaster Ashutosh, we can have the TTM section first, and then
y-
once Meenakshi joins, we can move on to the speech too.
yes, yes, I remember. Yes, Toastmaster Minakshi. Okay, so we park the speech of Toastmaster Minakshi for a while, and meanwhile, I invite Toastmaster Akansha to take us to the second part of the of this meeting, which is the table topic. So she will be pointing, spotlighting on all of us, and asking us something.
So I will be the TTM.
Oh, I see. Sorry, my bad, Toastmaster Nancy. So
We just
yeah.
changed it in the middle, Toastmaster. So you were
Okay.
right, but we thought
We
like
changed it.
Nancy in her all sincereness attends the entire meeting, does not take up a role. So we thought we'll put her in spot.
No, it's okay. So anyway, this is something what Toastmaster Shonak had been telling us. We plan something and eventually happens something, but the thing should happen. That's important in life. So
Yeah.
welcome Toastmaster Nancy, and yes, over to you for taking up the TTM role.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ashutosh. Good morning, everyone. So I will be the table topic master for today. and the topics would be related to our theme, which is value. So we can start our table topic session now. Anyone who wants to go first? Okay, I can pick maybe. Oh yeah, Sanskar. Toastmaster Sanskar. So your topic is, tell us about a time when doing the right thing was difficult, but you did it anyway. Doing the right thing was difficult, but you did it anyway.
It is often uh, when you're doing the right thing and it feels wrong. I think it was when I told truth to my friend. Being honest with someone is really difficult when the other person is not really in his right mind to listen to the crisp truth. People want to be delusional. Uh, people want to be fed with delusional words and etc. So one such friend was when I was in class 8th. I had to tell him the truth about someone who was kind of going around his back, gossiping about him, and and at that time I was a really good friend, and I want to tell him that see that there is one guy who was a kind of telling some telling some was demeaning you behind your back, and do you like it that way? So and instead of kind of accepting the hard fact, he kind of opposed me, saying that he's my good friend, better than you, and while I was his kind of his the not his best friend but the other uh, second friend you might say, he kind of took it as uh, he kind of took it as a hatred for him, and instead of accepting the fact, he kind of started spreading rumors about me. So this is where I felt that telling my truth to someone was the wrong thing, and that is it for me. Toastmaster Nancy, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmasters Sanskar. So yes, it takes courage to tell what is right and to say the right thing. Sometimes we feel hesitated whether to say or not, but taking the right decision at the right time and to say it is good thing. And later, I think we feel proud that we did it. We were right, even if we, uh, I mean, even if nobody supported us, but we did it right. So that's a good feeling. Thank you,
Thank you, Toastmaster
Toastmasters.
Nancy.
Toastmaster Anshuman, you want to go next?
Usman said, do you want to give role to someone who's not speaking too much, because I'm a
Okay,
general
okay.
relative. Maybe we can start
Sure.
with
There are not many, so I think
so
everybody would be
Akansha,
covered.
about Usman Akansha, who's not been in spot.
Okay. Toastmaster Akanksha. Okay. So your topic is, first impression is the last impression, and last impression is the lastest. Your thoughts?
Thank you, Toastmaster Nancy, for that topic. Uh, First impression is the last impression, and the last impression is the last impression. Now, this does put your brain to work. So, first impression, of course, is never the first impression. So, I joined office and the professional scenario, like, 5 years back. And it was only after 3 years when we actually started going to office. Before that, we would have work from home. So when you are working from home, the team dynamics and the interaction is very, very limited. We would talk about work, the work is done, and a few uh, comments about the manager and all, and that's it. That's what the talks were limited to. But once we started going to the office, the bonds formed. I actually made some friends, even though one of my seniors told me in the first week that you are not supposed to make friends in office. Keep the boundaries and make sure that you do not indulge in too much information. But despite that, I did actually make friends. And one of the games that we played when we were out and having drinks was, what is the first impression that you had of the person, and what is the current impression that you have of the person. And some of the things that people said, they were really very, very, very illuminating, in the sense that there was this guy who we used to feel called Sanjay, and he would come, and he's a little older, and he would be very serious. So the first day he walked into the office, you're like, oh my God, who has come into the team? Yeah, pura, it's like the whole mood and the dynamics will get spoiled. But then he actually blended in really well with us. And now he is the one who actually keeps the floor very, very light and engaging when the day is very, very hectic. So the first impression is obviously not the last impression. And now coming to the second topic, last impression is the last impression. This is a little sad because the last impression is not last impression. Sometimes I've noticed that when people, we are not really connected with them, things have happened, we've stopped talking, and one day when you'd be sitting alone, you'll realize, okay, I was also wrong in that scenario. I also had a part to play in the distance that we have between us. And because of that, it does change even when you've stopped talking to them, or when people move away from the world, when they're not there anymore. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Akanksha, for your thoughts. Yeah, impression, what I feel, impression, I mean, first impression, sometimes it happens that we get connected to few people when we see, when we look at them or during our first discussions. But later on, I think our impression changes over a period of time. Yeah. Thank you, Toastmaster Akanksha. Who is going?
Toastmaster Sanskar, then Toastmaster Abhijit.
Give to everyone.
Oh, and Sanskar has already answered. Toastmaster Abhijit.
Seems like Toastmaster Anshuman is running away from table topics today. He's saying everybody.
So,
I get my half an hour in the end. You'll have to listen to me for half an hour. So you will listen to me more.
so
I'm more than will.
Toastmaster Nancy, give table topics to all the members. Yes,
Yeah,
starting
yeah.
from the one who have not got the opportunity to speak much.
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Toastmaster Abhijit, maybe.
All right. Super.
Okay, Anshuman. Okay, sorry. Toastmaster Anshuman, for you. So, Toastmaster Anshuman, is excellence a destination or a journey? Share an area of life where you strive for excellence every day.
Excellence is a destination or a journey. I was listening to an interview by Indra Nui, who has been the CEO of PepsiCo International for X years, and X is in double digits. Right now, being a CEO, even for 2 to 3 years, is a very volatile space because the economy changes so much. There are wars, there are economic fluctuations, and to be a decade old CEO is unthinkable. And Indra Nui did that. And it was asked to her, what matters more to you? Is it success or excellence? She mentioned, which I really resonate with that, is that one can gain success temporarily. For example, one can win an area contest without much preparation, like me at times. But chasing excellence does result into winning contests sustainably because you're banking on your skills, you're banking on your hard work, you're banking on your resilience, and the results show eventually. So, to your point, Osman Nancy, I truly believe excellence is a journey And when we talk about excellence, I'm sure the Indian audience, which is majority of us, resonates with the movie Three Idiots, where the lead character did mention that chase excellence and success will follow. So, doing any activity, be it Toastmasters meeting, be it your one's daily work, being a friend, being a family member, if we just focus on the basic of having excellence in our day-to-day life, surely results follow. And as in Gita, uh, Krishji has mentioned that karam karo phal ki chinta mat karo, which is do your diligent work, don't worry about the results will follow. Similarly, when we chase excellence, when we are striving to be better each day, following the process, maybe one result may not come, maybe second result may not come, but there will be a time when we will become capable of being such an individual which who will deliver the right results at the right time when the time is right. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Nancy.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anshuman. Yeah, so excellence is definitely a journey. I mean, we can set few, I mean, we can set targets that by this time we should achieve that part. Then setting an excellence every time, setting targets and being excellent in those areas is definitely should be part of life. Yeah. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Anshuman. Who is left? Toastmaster Abhijit. Yeah. Toastmaster Abhijit. People say having money does not solve all the problems. Do you agree or disagree? Having money does not solve all problems. Do you agree or disagree?
Thank you, Toastmaster Nancy, for that topic. Now, this topic, which is just given to me, takes me back to the year 2024, just a couple of years back. And with having 16 years of total work X, I have got the opportunity to deposit enough funds back in my bank account. At the same time, have a lot of good potential to get a good salary every month. But what really matters most is whether money is something that can buy everything. Well, the answer is a no. I totally agree to the fact of what you said, that money really cannot buy everything. There was a time when this date, this triggers even today. That was the 8th of January 2024, when I was back home in my hometown to meet my parents just for a few days. My wife was back here in Noida, and I was back in my hometown. Eventually, it was all happy and go for the couple of days that I spent there. Until the third day, something really happened which I or my mom didn't really think of. At night, we had our dinner and we were about to go off to sleep. My father was sitting in the drawing room watching TV, and all of a sudden, it so happened that he met with a severe heart attack. Without noticing, in the month of January, cold, chilly winter outside, we had to take him and get him admitted to the casualty. Everything was just on track, on time, which eventually helped me to save him. Money is was spent like anything. Doctors asked that this needs to be deposited, this amount needs to be deposited. I was just swiping in my credit card left, right, and center. The amount that I was having with me in my credit card limit was all exhausted. I went on to swipe my debit card as well. But what was really important there is to save an important life of my father. So whether you have money in your kitty, whether you have money in your bank balance, everything is all enjoyment and luxury. But life is very precious. For me, what I think is this cannot be achieved without really emphasizing on the fact that you're saving somebody's life, and that too when that person is so close to your heart. Over to you, Toastmaster Nancy.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abhijit, for your thoughts. Yeah, we cannot buy happiness from money indeed, and saving a life wherein time is very precious, every second is precious to save someone's life. So we cannot buy that life for money. Thank you, Toastmaster Abhijit. Who else is left? Okay. Toastmaster
Okay.
Shonak. Yeah. Toastmaster Shonak, what is one specific value you hope to pass down to your next generation? What is one specific value or tradition you hope to pass down to next generation?
Intelligence, as Toastmaster Anshuman mentioned. Until or unless you'll not gain intelligence, you cannot achieve success in life. And that's what I want to pass on to my younger generation and to my kids. I don't want them to bring 90%, 95%. I want them to be intelligent enough where they can take right decisions for themselves. And if they're not able to take the right decisions, at least they'll be in a position to correct that based on the experience they'll get with this wrong decision. And then they can implement that in their life. I want them to be street smart enough where they can build the luxury for themselves without even any backing from me. And if there is no luxury, they'll be able to sustain what they have and build a better life for them based on what they have. I don't want them to be spoon feeded. They should be self reliant, intelligent enough to understand the nuisance of the world, and hardworking enough to build an empire for them. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shonak. Yeah, intelligence is one value which I feel everybody should have. We don't need to give anything to our kids or next generation. I think having an intelligent mind or IQ, they should be able to do anything in their life. Yeah, thank you so much, Toastmaster Shonak. Toastmaster
Okay, I am the last one.
Ashutosh, yeah. Toastmaster Ashutosh, what is one life lesson that you learned that completely changed your perspective on what is important? What is one life lesson you learned that completely changed your perspective on what is important? Toastmaster Ashutosh.
Thanks, Toastmaster Nancy, for this topic. The life lesson which I learned, which changed my perspective for life, for things in life, is valuing the time. I had been always ignoring the value of time before I hit upon by a setback related to not realizing the value of time. There had been incidents a couple of times, like I was reaching late, for flights at airport, and then at times I missed it. But eventually, I did not realize the value of time. But there were instances wherein I realized that I missed the opportunity. I missed the opportunity, important opportunities, because of not being able to complete things in time. There has been an incident, a few years back in my company, one of my last company, that I was given to change my department suddenly. due to I was not, learning new skills. And the time I wasted on doing only transactions, completing one task after another. And that is the time I realized, the time is very essential and important for, for your life to finish the things in time and value on what is important on time. The other part of the lives like money which have been talking is in circulation. Money is in circulation, so it keeps on. Sometimes you will have more, sometimes you will have less, but it you can always replace it with the power of your mind or intelligence or the power of your task. But the time is something which is once missed never comes back. So this is like deriving the value of the things which I mentioned in the beginning of this meeting, that what is more valuable versus what is more pricing. So time at times looks to us is a very low priority. Okay, the time is spent over things which are not essential, right? Fighting over small things and lazing around, or the continuously browsing the social media content without an intent. But friends, and please, this is a loss. So looking forward to using it more effectively, which I gained in my as my learning. So that's it from my side, Toastmaster Nancy.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ashutosh. I think I also had the same thought. And over a period of time, I also learned that time is very precious in many areas or many situations. What I felt, I was getting very, very late, and that was the very panic situation for me. And going there 5 or 10 minutes late, I used to miss many important discussions during initial introductions. So that time I used to feel that just 5 or 10 minutes early can reduce that panic situation for me, and I can attend everything in a calm way. So that is very, very important part which you shared today, Toastmaster Ashutosh. Thank you so much for your thoughts. Um, who
Toastman,
is
I'd say
next?
you are next. You're the, I think, the only
I'm
speaker.
next. Okay.
All right. And I also see Toastman Meenakshi joining. So a quick one for you, Toastman Nancy. So what is your favorite way to spend a Sunday afternoon? What is your favorite way to spend a Sunday afternoon, Toastmaster Nancy?
Toast, thank you, Toastmaster Anshuman. Sunday afternoon is, I mean, we start with the Monday blues on Sunday afternoon. But if I compare with Saturday and Sunday, Saturday it's like little lazy. Uh, I mean, everything we do it, but it gets slowed down. But on Sunday, we do many important tasks. So my favorite one is going for a shopping and chill with friends. So I generally go. I mean, I try to do it at least once in a month, meeting with friends somewhere outside where the place which I have not seen or restaurant which I have not seen. That one thing that I love to do with my friends on Sunday afternoon. And one more part, what I do on Sunday, going with family on at some place wherein maybe nearby places, exploring new places. uh, I mean, exploring new places with friends and family. That is one thing that I do over the weekend. Apart from that, picking up a new book. So I keep on reading few books. So reading a book is my favorite time pass during the weekend, which I don't get time to do over the weekdays. So that's all I do on the weekends. Yeah. on Sunday afternoon. Yeah. Thank you,
Thanks.
Toastmaster Anshuman.
Thanks a lot, Usman Nancy, for sharing. I'm conducting the table topping master session. Over to you, Toastmaster today, Toastmaster Ashutosh. We also have Toastmaster Minakshi joining, so maybe we can start with the speech number 2.
Yes, sure, Toastmaster Meenakshi. So this is the thing which we have been looking for. So Toastmaster Meenakshi. So we took a pause and did the table topics. So good that you are back, and then you are back or you joined, and then moving forward, I invite the evaluator Toastmaster Akansha to give the speech details of Toastmaster Meenakshi.
Akanksha is here. She told me that she might. Oh, Akanksha is here.
Okay, so I will be the evaluator for Toastmaster Minakshi, and she will be delivering a general speech. So I will be judging her on the evaluating her, sorry, on the basis of the general parameters like stage presence, pauses, content, and the speech flow. So all the best, Toastmaster Minakshi. I'm sure you'll deliver an amazing speech like always. Over to Toastmaster Ashutosh to introduce her topic.
I missed the title of the speech for Toastmaster Meenakshi, but invite Toastmaster Meenakshi for the speech, and all the best to you, Toastmaster Meenakshi.
On the count of 3, you jump. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you guys jumped virtually. I couldn't. I am sitting on that staircase, and the guy holding that harness. Go, jump. People are waiting. I can't. It's too high. It's not that high. You know how people practice? What do you call when you travel from the cable to other cliff? What is that activity called? Anybody knows that?
Ropeway. Ropeway.
Ropeway? Is that the name of the activity?
Zip
You
line?
go from what? Zip line. Yeah, sorry, zip line.
Zip lining. Yes, exactly. Here I am sitting on the staircase for a zip lining activity, and it's not even between the mountains. It's just a tree so high that you can get a flavor of it, but I couldn't do that. I couldn't jump off that last staircase. And while I'm standing there, figuring out whether to jump or not, my super supportive friends, look at her, she can't even jump from this much height. Come back, you're wasting our time. In that moment, I realized that if you can't take stand for yourself, if you can't motivate yourself enough to do an activity, you will be mocked. And that was my unknown where I was stepping into. I always believed that I have fear of heights, which is why this was the day I felt like this is not height enough. This is something that I can do. But I realized, no, I can't. What was that? If this is not so high, why am I still scared? Life goes on. Who will get stuck on this activity? Everyone started giggling. We went to eat, and the day ended. We came back from the trip. I never thought about it again. All I decided that I will not make a fool out of myself ever again. I would never attempt something like this, even if it is jumping from 10th staircase. I would say no. I don't want to do it, rather than I want to do it, but I can't. Because if people figure out that you have a fear, you can't do it, it's no longer a fear. It's a point where you will be mocked. It's that weakness where people will make you feel that you cannot. What I realized during this activity wasn't that I am scared of heights. What I realized that I am scared when everyone is watching to fail. So here I am, holding a ticket in my hand and booked a flight to go, all alone, all by myself. When I had ticket in my hand, I never planned to do something like crazy that I did actually. This is the day I had nothing to do. My mission to go to Goa was to write a book, explore things, chill out, enjoy the weather. But this is the day I don't feel like writing my book. I'm just sitting on the sand on the beach, and a guy is walking up to me. And while I see him coming towards me, I am sure that I don't know him. Why is he walking towards me? And while I was just preparing to get up, he was like, "Ma'am, would you like to take a package of these sports rides?" I said, "What do you have in rides?" It says, "Just water rides." I said, "Yes," without even knowing what are the rides. I said, "Yeah, I'm just sitting by myself. I had nothing to do." The very first ride, I cannot even imagine. It was paragliding. Again, me required to jump off that boat and challenge that fear of heights again. The good thing about that activity was two people can go together. And bad thing, I did not have company. And it's too late to say no, because I see people sitting in the boat. And if I do not jump this time, I know I'll be mocked again. So I wore my sunglasses, closed my eyes, and I just surrendered. Let it happen this time. And even if I fall down, this time it's not land, it's water. I'm wearing this life jacket, I'll still be safe. Here I took this risk of taking this activity of paragliding. I wore my harness, and as the boat drove forward, my feet started drifting away from the ground. In that moment, I realized that it was not the fear of heights that I was scared of. I was scared of letting go of that security that I have solid land beneath my legs. And as I took off from that boat, I realized that it's fine. Sometimes it's okay if we don't have safety enough. We still have wings that we can fly and enjoy the view, because what I was scared of was just the tip of iceberg. When I took that flight, the view was beautiful. There was air, there was space. I could see the whole sea. And that's the whole point. When you let go of something that no longer serves you, you will find not just beauty, but space and scope to do something that you have never done. And that's the power of stepping into unknown. I did my stepping into unknown. What about you? Thank you.
That's an interesting one, Toastmaster Meenakshi, coming from you. Stepping into unknown and stepping into uncomfortable zone is what takes to move ahead and embarrass the fears, embarrass the mindset, the limited mindset that I can achieve only this one. So I appreciate and will also look forward to attempt some of these challenging activities. I also had been kind of skeptical, so I had some experiences, and after that I was at some amusement park, and then I was very skeptical to try any of the rides in amusement park or some of the this adventurous sport activities. So maybe I'm traveling to Uttarakhand next few days. I will try to uh, ex, experience one of them. So okay, moving forward, I think we will have that's the completion of our speeches and table topics. And then while we wait for the evaluation from Toastmaster Anshuman, I would like to draw the attention back to the trailer which I bought in the beginning of the meeting about the story about the value of life. And the trailer, the boy, a sad boy, asked his father the value of his life. The father asked him to do a task, go to a shop, go to a place, and sell the two stones which he has given to him. Father also told him a condition that he doesn't need to specifically mention anything about the price of the stone. He just need to nod his head and show his two fingers if somebody asks for the price of the stone. Following the instruction of father, obediently, boy went to the marketplace nearby. A marketplace, crowded marketplace. He went and stood at one of the corner wherein a mature lady was passing by. The lady saw the stones and her attention was caught. The lady went to the boy and asked the price of the stone. She asked, "Hey, young man, do you want to sell this? This looks good for decoration at my home. What the price?" The boy did not said anything. Upon asking again, he just show his two fingers. The lady was asking, "What is it? Are you trying to sell me this for 2 rupees?" The boy was kind of surprised, did not respond at anything, went back to his father and narrated the incident. The father said, "Okay, son, this is done, but there are some other places you need to go before I mention to you value of your life." The next he said, "Okay, you go to the museum nearby. There's a museum where there is a section to sell some antique items. You go and try to sell this stone at that museum." He went to the museum, that marketplace, corner marketplace, and again stood there, showing the stone, not telling anything. A man passed by, again asked the value. He didn't share anything. "What is the price of this stone? This is looking good. I want to buy this." Again, no response. He just showed two fingers. "What is it? Are you trying to sell me these stones for 2000 rupees?" Boy was surprised a bit more, then again went back to his father. Father said, "Okay, son, this is one last place I want you to go before we talk about this." He said, "Go to this jewelry shop at the in the jewelry market and try the stones to the owner of that jewelry shop." Boy again obediently went there, entered the prominent jewelry shop, met the owner, and what he did, show his palm, show his palm with two hand with the two stones. And the owner asked him, "What is it? Why are you here? If you do want to do anything, tell me. Don't waste my time. My time is valuable." The boy again just show his two fingers when asked about for the price of the stone. The owner looked the stone very carefully and said, "Okay, this looks precious. I can buy this. Tell me the price." The price, he didn't respond at anything. He just show his two fingers again. "What is it? Are you trying to sell me these stones at 2 lakh rupees?" The boy was surprised more, did not responded to the owner and ran back to his father. And narrated the story again to the father. This time, father was smiling and have asked son, "Son, do you realize the value of your life now?" "Yes, father, I'm getting it what you're trying to say." Father told him, it is you who decide the value of your life. You can decide to be a 2 rupees stone for rest of your life, or you can be a 2 lakh rupees stone and to be handled by some of the finest men. Your value depends on where you be and the people you want to be with. So the value of life is derived from how we want to position ourselves. What are our choices about our surroundings, about our places we want to be, about our choices in life, about our the way we see things, and eventually the way we plan our things in future can help us to increase our value in in the wherever we are in our professional aspirations, in our personal engagements with. So on that note, covering this the story or the feature film which I gave the trailer earlier, I come back to the meeting and invite Toastmaster Anshuman to evaluate the and give us the feedback on the proceedings of the meeting, how the meeting was conducted. Over to you, Toastmaster Anshuman.
Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Ashutosh, for that intriguing and interesting story connecting dots from the first part to second. Now we head to the evaluation section where we learn how we perform today and take the feedback. We'll reverse the order for today morning, looking at the schedule juggling we're doing. So we'll start with evaluation 2 for Toastmaster Minakshi, starting with Toastmaster Kansha. Over to you, Toastmaster Kansha, to share your evaluation.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anshuman. Good morning, dear Toastmasters and our guests. Today, Toastmaster Minakshi took us on a beautiful journey, and we were able to visualize as well as be a part of her journey through her vivid description of the scenario and the way she started right from the beginning. She hooked our attention. We were all there in her story when she said, 1, 2, 3, jump. Some of us might have been confused. How do we jump? Because I'm sitting on a bed. But then she went on to explain how that was relevant. So, Toastmaster Minakshi, kudos on having an amazing and interactive beginning, which hooked the audience right from the start. The next thing that really stood out in your speech was the characterization that you did, as well as the voice modulation. It wasn't there, it was obviously there at the instances where it was required. For example, when you mimicked one of your friends who said that, haha, she can't jump, right? So we could actually all imagine your friends saying that way. And the scary guy who walked up to you, the way you enacted him as well, so that was beautiful to watch, as well as added elements to your speech that really stood out. And characterization always helps the audience imagine the description and the story that you're trying to say, rather than just thinking about figures. You were actually able to make them visualize that. So kudos on that again. And the third thing which I absolutely loved about your speech were the pauses. You had pauses at the right places, which let the audience absorb the story that you were telling, as well as be with you throughout, so that we don't have to rush through it. Now, these were the best parts of the speech that stood out. If you could take a jump on the below points, and I am sure that you will have an impeccable speech, just like the view you got from the top of the zip line. The first point being the question. Now, audience interaction is always a good element to have in this speech, but sometimes when you ask a question and you wait for the audience to reply, it could either work in your favor or it could work against you, because the audience does not know in which direction you are supposed to be taking the speech. So if they are not able to answer what you want, it will be difficult for you to carry your speech forward and the whole point might get lost. So be very careful when you're asking a question and expecting a reply. It could have been, raise your hand or give me a snap or something like that, rather than actually waiting for them to unmute and give a reply. Apart from that, the next thing that I would suggest would be to cover the stage. Now, we've already seen that you are an amazing speaker, but one thing that I always feel that you could work on is covering the stage, because when you're appearing for contest or in an offline session, covering the stage is an important factor. And if you are able to do that in the speeches, even when you're delivering it online, I believe that it would really be helpful. So to summarize, you had a great beginning, you had amazing characterization and pauses throughout the speech. A few things that you could work on to take your speech to the next level would be asking, getting the audience interaction right, and covering the stage a little bit. Thank you. Over to the general evaluator, Toastmaster Anshuman.
Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Kansha, for that insightful, detailed evaluation of Toastmaster Meenakshi. I hope Toastmaster Meenakshi got some value out of it, a lot of value out of it, rather. Now I'd like to hand over the stage to Toastmaster Abhijit to share the evaluation of Toastmaster Shaunak, and thank you, Toastmaster Abhijit, for accommodating the change in schedule. So over to you, Toastmaster Abhijit.
Thank you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Anshuman. We have a person whom we just witnessed loves impromptu traveling. And who doesn't? Everybody in this room cannot say that they don't love traveling or going somewhere which is on the cards. Toastmaster Shaunak as a speaker came up on the virtual stage and straight away hooked the audience with a question. How many of you love traveling? And the second question, follow-up question, was even more interesting. How many of you love impromptu traveling? Well, in both the cases, it was a great hook to catch audience attention from the very start. Now, having said that, what really made the speech even more heard from the start till the end for all of us is the entire storyline. From the very start till the end, none of us felt as if like we were not traveling along with Toastmaster Shaunak. A great storyteller where Toastmaster Shaunak took us all in that big car, not just his relatives, not just his friend, not just his wife, along with the luggage on a weekend night, but it was us who was traveling along with him virtually. And that is something which makes a speech well heard and very special. Now, the best part, the second best part of the speech was the climax of a speech. The climax of the speech came to an element where Toastmaster Shaunak did mention that he reached to a hotel where the booking was made, but then realized that the receptionist said that that was the place where the booking wasn't done. Reason, because there were two hotels of the same name. Something which we as part of the audience didn't really expect coming up. But that was the surprising element of it, which was interesting. The third element of the speech is a kind of message for all of us that come what may, life is vulnerable. We should all be in a position to enjoy every moment. Life is just like a travel. We are moving ahead and we should make all the possibilities to spend quality time with our families, irrespective of whatever challenges and difficulties that might come our way. Very well related to human psychology. Now, areas where I feel Shauna can really work on, especially not just in this speech, but in future speeches, is a little bit of preparedness. And why would I emphasize on that? Is the speech really went off track with respect to timings. Toastmaster Shauna was so very involved in terms of making us travel that it indeed made us all travel a long, long journey beyond the really given stipulated time. The second element of it is cutting down on some of the short elements which is totally unnecessary. For example, Toastmaster Shaunak was saying, yes, I was there, I mentioned my name, and couple of things which can be understood by the audience, not necessarily by the speaker, to really mention and highlight it when it comes to giving it in the form of a speech. The second part is the tenacity of the voice, the highs and the lows. The excitement was when you were climbing up the hill and there were people like who were wife was frowning. There, the voice can be taken up a little on the higher note, and sometimes when there was a surprise element, when the reception said that there were two hotels of the same name, two properties of the same name. So that was a surprising element. So there could be the tonality of the voice that can be changed. But having said that, it was a telltale. It was something which we all enjoyed. We loved traveling along with Toastmaster Shaunak. The only emphasis is on a couple of things which I just highlighted. And I'm sure as a speaker, Toastmaster Shaunak is, he can really master the art of storytelling in all his future speeches going forward. So all the best, Toastmaster Shaunak, and over to you, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Anshuman.
Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Abhijit, for that insightful and detailed evaluation. Quite thorough, and even I learned quite a few things. I hope Toastmaster Shaunak had quite a few takeaways. Now, moving on to the tag role, I'd like to invite our wonderful Toastmaster Sanskar, who double-hatted today as a language evaluator, to share his report as a language evaluator. Over to you, Toastmaster Sanskar.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anshuman. So, as the language evaluator, I had one role of noticing what were the good usages of the words, not so good usages of the words, and what were the R countings for the our speakers and all the members in our meeting today. So, with that, I would like to now share my screen. Uh, I hope all of us can see my screen. So, basically, starting with Anshuman, I wasn't able to hear much of Anshuman today, good usage of words or wrong usage of words. So I'll move on to Shaunak. So Shaunak used ah in his speech one time, and some good uses of the words were, which I thought so were, cursing, cribbing, cakewalk, eternal rush, freshness of the air. And some wrong uses of the words were at the driver's side could have been by the driver's side. Spoon feeded should have been spoon fed. Toastmaster Kansha, really sorry I wasn't able to hear much of it, and there was no R counting for Toastmaster Kansha and Toastmaster Anshuman. So really good on your grammar part today. Toastmaster Ashutosh, one R, one one like a. So good usage of the words value for your life, and some not so good usage of the words go to the jewelry shop. Go to the this jewelry shop should have been go to the jewelry shop. He didn't respond it to anything. He didn't respond to anything. TM Nancy only one so that, and I couldn't hear any good uses or wrong uses. So you were on the neutral terms. TM Abhijit, you were really mesmerizing today with your evaluations today. So couldn't hear much. Sorry on my part. Come what may was what thought in the last part of your evaluation was what I liked about your evaluation. With me, it was 3 to 4 hours, and one with that around his back should have been behind your back. We feel hesitated. We feel hesitant. And team Toastmaster Minakshi, my feet started drifting away from the ground, stepping into unknown. I couldn't hear any use of word of the day today, which was candid, and which is mentioned in the chant if you want to see the meaning of it. Thank you, Toastmaster Kanja, for helping me with some of the good uses and not so good uses of the words with our speakers today. With that, I would like to close my report, and that is it for me. Thank you, Toastmaster Anshuman.
Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Sanskar. Quite a comprehensive report, with each Toastmaster getting precise feedback on their good usages, not so good usages, filler word sounds, so that one can improve. Coming to the timer report, the speed, like the entire, I think the Toastmaster meeting encompassed speakers going above their time limits. So thank you, Bright Beginning Toastmaster, for being so enthusiastic about speaking. But Toastmaster does entail staying within time limit. I hope we could see the cards. I once felt that we are not able to see the card. That's why we're being so generous with time. So you'll see lot of times crossing the target limit, starting with speeches Toastmaster Shonak at 7 minutes 50 seconds, where we learned that the timer had malfunctioned. So actual time might be 9 minutes 20 seconds. So
No,
Toastmaster
I,
Shonak,
Actually, I got a bit confused because I thought that came by mistake, and that's why I continued my this thing.
Right.
So when
No,
it was shoot for the second time, then I realized maybe that's the time I'm. That's why I missed the boat and
right. So that's a feedback for the club to get the timer cards right. But we love to hear you, Toastmaster. We could have heard you for another 10 minutes also. So great speech. Thank you for that. Toastmaster Meenakshi at 7 minutes 20 seconds. She was precise on time, just played with the red card. So thank you, Tosma Meenakshi. Coming to table topics, Tosma Sanskar 1 minute 55 minutes, or 50 seconds rather. Tosma Akansha 2 minute 35 seconds. Anshuman 2 minutes 11 seconds. Abhijit, Tosma Abhijit, listening to Tosma Abhijit at 2 minutes 52 seconds. Tosma Shonak in 1 minute 22 seconds. So Tosma Shonak, you covered for your speech in your table topic at 1 minute 22 seconds. Tosma Ashutosh was quite generous at 3 minutes 15 seconds. Tosma Nancy at 1 minute 45 seconds. Evaluations, quite generous evaluation. Listening to Tosma Abhijit at 3 minutes 52 seconds. And Tosma Akansha at 3 minutes 17 seconds. So overall, first of all, even coming to my general evaluator report, even before the meeting began, a huge thank you to Toastmaster Meenakshi for spearheading the public relations activity for Toastmaster Right Wing Toastmaster Club. Um, at the same time, there is definitely a need to streamline it. And one request which Toastmaster Meenakshi and Toastmaster Akansha have for a club is to decide on the team mod as early as possible, along with the theme, so that we have enough time to prepare the posters. So, if we have any volunteers for the next meeting, please do share after the meeting of who wants to be the team mod and the theme, so that we can start on the PR activity. Okay, so Toastmaster Shonak has already volunteered. Toastmaster Meenakshi has also. So we have for next two meetings.
so
Our teams. Okay.
let Meenakshi be the team out for the next meeting.
Okay. I think Toastmaster
I
Meenakshi might have raised it for a different reason. Toastmaster Meenakshi, do you want to clarify why you raised your hand?
I wanted to say something, but I see that we are still streaming, so probably I'll say
Okay,
towards
maybe
the end
this
of
can be taken offline.
yeah.
Toastmaster Shanak, you have something to say online, or should we take it offline?
no, we can take it off.
Sounds good. Coming to the role players, I think we had a healthy attendance today. Whoever committed did join, but there was a schedule juggling. So one suggestion for all the role players will be to share their availability beforehand. In case not available or joining late, one can substitute always. Second part was, I think we can give roles to all the members joining. For example, Toastman Nancy did not have a role, and we know that Toastman Nancy joins every meeting and commits to the role played. So, and one thing I think for Toastman Nancy's mentor will be to train her on the role so that she's aware of how to do evaluations and other roles. So, Toastman Nancy, the challenge for you will be to start rotating amongst roles. I know, like now you're a professional table topic master, but we love to take you to take up GE, mod, speeches in the subsequent meetings. Coming to Toastmaster Day, Toastmaster Ashutosh, as have always shared, you have poetry, oratory in your, I think, DNA, and that reflected when you aptly took one part of the story in the first half and connected in the second half. I think that was deliberately done to connect, like as they say, full circle. So the audience is curious of what is coming in the first half, and you connect the dots in the second half. So that's a good tool to use for all of us of how to keep the audience engaged, curious by keeping some mystery and attending in the end. You have a good flow, vocal variety. So thank you for taking up the team out role and sharing your story. Coming to the general evaluation bit, thank you to Usman Sanskar for double hatting at the last moment, and thank you for being the presiding officer. I think you did a fantastic job as a presiding officer the first time. Thank you to Usman Shonak for sharing that speech framework as a presiding officer. I see a future leader in Toastmaster Sanskar for a club, and we are grooming him up right. So hopefully, down the line, we'll see this converting as a future bright presiding officer. Uh, Coming to the general evaluation part, I'll conclude with Toastmaster Sanskar's language evaluation also. I think he aptly shared in a detailed fashion each of the accounts, filler word sounds for each of the Toastmaster and good uses, not so good uses. One best practice Toastmaster Sanskar is to not associate names with good usages, especially not so good usages. Good usages still we can associate names, but not so good usages are usually given generally so that one does not feel in the spotlight when sharing not so good uses. So you might want to keep a not so good usages as a separate tab without names, and good usages and filler sounds and words you can keep it central as we did. Coming to the evaluation, I think both the evaluators were quite elaborate, appropriate, use the commendation framework, and both of them individually are great orators themselves. So for them to evaluate Tosma Shonak and Tosma Meenakshi speech, who themselves are fantastic speakers. I think we had the combination of four like two dyads where two great speakers were getting good feedback from two great speakers themselves, and that reflected because they could see even the minute. I could see, like, for example, Tosma Meenakshi not covering the stage. I think she mesmerizes us so much by her vocal variety in speech that we never noticed that the virtual stage could be used as a walking stage also. So that's, say, a little kind of feedback which, if technically possible, Toastman actually incorporate, can really make a speech more powerful. And similarly for Toastman Shonak, how he narrated the entire story, what are the intricate details, and how he can finish it. Distinguished Toastman Abhijit did a great job there. Coming to the table topic master, at a last moment, Toastman Nancy did bring up quite insightful, simple, appropriate topics for us uh, to take up. And Toastman Nancy has become quite a professional at it. Just one feedback which I shared with Toastman Nancy even offline was that the structure is Toastmaster Nancy, District 41, District 41, Toastmaster Nancy. So this is how we share table topics or any speeches also. I think similar feedback for you, Toastmaster Ashutosh. Maybe you could have taken the speech titles beforehand, and the structure is Toastmaster Ashutosh, title, Toastmaster Ashutosh. So this gives the speaker time to just be ready, set up, think about this speech also. That's why it's deliberately this format has been put out. But nevertheless, I think great job, Toastmaster Nancy. Coming to the overall structure of the meeting, I think after especially the district contest, our club has picked up momentum back again, especially our 300 celebration meeting. And to see all eight of us joining, staying till the end, I think it's an achievement in itself. We can take it as a foundation, and as Toastmaster Meenakshi has been emphasizing, focus on PR more. Maybe we can reignite our Instagram page. We have to check who has the access and get the access to right people to get more folks interested to join our fantastic club so that we have new blood flowing in the club. Overall, a fantastic meeting. Love to be part of it and look forward to further exciting meetings. Over to you, Toastmaster Ashutosh, for the conclusion.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anshuman, for that holistic report, which covers all aspects of all the role players and all the meetings. And then I am definitely is insightful for all of us, and I have taken the notes of the takeaways for myself personally. So again, looking forward to more feedbacks from you in following meetings. And overall, I can say the meeting was fantastic. And as Toastmaster Manchuman already said, it's like maybe a kickstart, restart after some pause, but had been a good meeting with the meeting flow continued, and then we are just, I think, moving ahead of time. But overall, the meeting had been very engaging and interesting for all of us. And with that, I thank you all the role players which have been designated and not designated, especially the no, not designated ones who took the last minute, drive and took the decision for accountability, and then being there like Toastmaster Sanskar, Toastmaster Nancy for taking the roles last minute. And overall, I think I enjoyed a lot being myself and TMOD role after, I would say, many, if not months, at least few years. And then look forward to doing it again. And that's it. I think I will hand over the meetings to proceedings to presiding officer for concluding the meeting and giving the following directions. So, Toastmaster Shonak.
Toastmaster
Thank
Sanskar.
you, Toastmaster Ashutosh and Toastmaster Anshuman, for your great evaluation, and Toastmaster of the Day, Ashutosh, as for your speaking. That, well, before I step in as presiding officer for the day, I would like to put on our thanks to Toastmaster Anshuman as being very modest for always putting me on first as the grooming and all that part. It's because of Toastmaster Anshuman that what I am, and Akansh and all of the other members which have put me to help with my speeches and all the grammars. And I hope to improve on that. So with that, with the time crunch, I would not like to take much of our time today. Thank you, Toastmasters, for attending the meeting today. We don't have any guests today, so we won't be taking any guest feedback.
This second Toastmaster Abhijit looks like a member, but he's a guest, so we might want to take feedback from
Yeah,
him.
yeah, I am coming to that. I am coming to that. So, since we don't have any guests today, we won't be taking any guest feedback. But since we have Toastmaster Abhijit from another club, we would like to know his opinion on our meeting today and how he liked it, or any improvement we can do so.
Okay, thanks, Askar, for giving me the chance to speak up, and thanks everyone for being a lovely audience. Uh, People do say a lot about the club, but let me tell you, my repeated presence on and off keeps telling the club members that this is a lovely club to be in. Not for that reason that it's a Saturday morning that I do not have anything to do on it, so I kind of attend Bright Beginnings. But this is a club that members bring the kind of bond which anybody would require, especially in the form of an online setup. I have got an opportunity to go ahead and attend many online meetings, but somewhere that bit of an vibes do not really sink in with the kind of. So this is a great club to be in. The the number of people joining the meetings is not that great, to be very honest. That's a kind of recommendation, but then whoever attends makes it very special to be part of the overall meeting. Does not really. I was looking at the watch and said that 10:30 is when I joined. It's now 12:30, and I didn't even realize that time just flew like that. Just exactly how Meenakshi is flying with the green heart on the virtual window she has put in. So yes, time flies, and I really loved being part of this meeting. The only push, I'm not sure how many members I have not seen the club. You will know better, but the only feedback that I can give is try to have more and more club members join the club meetings and take up the roles, and to start attending the meetings from the very beginning of the time that starts taking in. I think we'll have to, all as a team will have to work, not just go ahead and say that okay online ही तो है कभी भी join कर लेंगे या फिर आज नहीं करते हैं. So I think there are 14-15 members of the club. Everybody should take, because the faces are very familiar. Anshuman, Meenakshi, Nancy, Shaunak. I see only these faces, which makes me feel as if like ये कुछ 4-5 ही लोग हैं जो club में हैं active. So that's the only feedback that I have. Apart from that, I think the meeting overall was as lovely as any other meeting that I've attended at Pride Beginnings.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abhijit. It was lovely to have you in the meeting, and we loved your feedback. We would like to improve on that. We will work with all our members to improve that, all the attendance and the time crunches. Since we love our meetings, and time also flew with that, but then also we have to keep a check on our time for all the people. So, as a presiding officer, thank you so much for sharing. We truly hope to see you again at our next meeting as well. On behalf of the Bright Beginnings Toastmasters Club,